Welcome back to another episode of Duel Alliance, another live stream episode of Duel Alliance, I should say, with myself, Alicia, and Megan. And we are at the start of season 38. It's called Ride or Dies. Megan, are you ready to ride or die with this season of the challenge?
I mean, I did say the real is back when I first saw the cast and stuff, so I guess.
Yeah, no, you're on the bandwagon, I should say, of this cast and crew of people. But we have an interesting mix of people. I think that it's a good balance of rookies and vets that we have, and we definitely went through this last week when we discussed, the cast and who's on the show and who's not. So we can kind of just, skip over like the people that we haven't seen. And we can just start off at like the first argument that we seen, which was of two people that we have not seen in a while, which was Turbo and Laurel. And Laurel was popping champagne. Shout out to Ron Brown. She's popping champagne on the little yacht that they got on. And she didn't pour Turbo any. And Turbo not want to hold his tongue because we haven't seen him in a while. Turbo just went off on sis and just was like, I'm going to take you one by one from elimination. Like I was just like, what is going on? Like it's too early.
It was way too early for the shenanigans, and all over. I wrote my notes over. No, I said Turbo started the fight with Laurel over some damn champagne and started showing his ass.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up.
Like Devin said, I think yeah, Devin said that he's like the one person you can't like have at a wedding. Like he's the worst wedding guest because he's gonna throw a fit over something.
He's gonna throw her fit after if the sky is not blue enough. Like Turbo's just on some different type of time. But I do appreciate just his bluntness of how he is.
Yeah, but look at us. We got to fight first 5 minutes into the show. That's a record.
It really is. And it's like not even anything that was just tangible. It was literally champagne.
Listen, this is what we're gonna get from Turbo this whole season. Because he's gonna take exception to anything.
Clearly, we
And
saw it later on in the episode.
but it was a nice seeing like everybody on the yacht. And I enjoyed it very well to see people. I will say that in Turbo's introduction, he said pussy chickens. That's his favorite phrase.
Yes.
And he, listen,
I've never called anyone that in my life. I don't think that would ever be at the front of my mind if I'm arguing with somebody. I guess it's a cultural thing or it's just a Turbo thing because I've never been like, you pussy chicken. Like that don't hit hard. Like that's
you
not
don't.
hitting. That ain't gonna do it. I'll be like, get out of here.
So they get to the house. They find the rooms. Jay's already gonna be rooming with Johnny and Chauncey, and Tori is talking to people, moving around, shaking, being a big vet. Like I was writing my notes for her. People who have been here
Big
for the
vet.
past.
Girl.
Listen, I have to differentiate who were the super vets, like super seniors, and then the other vets have just been there for like 3 seasons. I just had to because somebody called her and Devin the king queen of the vets. And I don't agree, but just with the scene of who was there, I get how they can say that. I can get that.
Yeah, I mean, they're the two like oldest, like longest until we got who we got later on.
Yeah. But Tori was talking to Casey. Our first little thing of Casey that we figure out later on that her and her brother be gone. But shout out to Casey and how we got the intro for Kenny. And Casey was really wondering where Nani was because like this is like first time she's been on the show without her little girlfriend, and she was like, "Dang, I gotta do this without her."
I mean, there was so much behind the scenes that happened in terms of like who got casted, who didn't, like how people found out who their ride or die was. Like, I mean, I don't know what production was doing this season with this, but like it just seems like very scattered.
Yes. Um, and with a hoarse voice, Nelson was tasked with giving the toast for the welcome. And I know this has been a running thing since last episode, and I was texting you, and I'm like, listen, this man embarrassed me today. And I'm like, of all people to give a toast. And it wasn't even the best speech I've heard on a challenge with toast. It was just straight to the point, but it was like, what are you saying?
And he didn't know what he was saying. Like this is Nelson is ridiculous. Okay, like I have no words, but that's your ride or die.
Yeah, I'm taking Faith of Corey this season. I'm gonna be rocking with him, even with the stupidity I would say that we will
Mm,
get this season.
mm.
Um, and in the room, Kayla was talking to Sam, but he was getting loud. He was like just talking, and he's like, "Hey," she was like, "Hey, calm down. Just stay low for like 2 weeks. We'll be good. We need to just scope out things and just be quiet." But Sam was just being loud. He's like, "Oh, okay, we'll do that. That's fine."
I mean, I don't care for her and the honeymooners. I don't see it for her. You already know. Cheetah, cheetah, pumpkin eater.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to. It's funny you said that though, because the next person I'm gonna move on to is Johnny, who is a Ricky from Love Island, and also I'm sure we told y'all who he was last episode, but and him and Maurice are talking and having a nice little moment, and we find out that they actually made out at the airport, with everybody around. And we find out also that Raven actually has a crush on Johnny, but he kind of like shut it down with her, and they're just friends. But he is holding on to this. And now on Twitter, Miss Mamas is throwing shit at Nerese.
Okay, I didn't see that. But first of all, they look like brother and sister, so it's throwing me off. Like their whole vibe and connection is just it's what the hell is this incestual shit? But like moving past that, Raven, I need you to stop embarrassing yourself. Like honestly, she was expressing how she wanted something more with Johnny. The vibe was just very much weird because she seemed to just be flirting more, and Johnny's a natural flirt, so that energy was just going to be there, but then like he's just feeling Nerese more. And so it's just it's very clear, it's obvious he was talking to her the way that they were, just huddled up in the corner in the room. And I just was like, damn, Raven, like, I just don't want you to be out here looking like this. Cause we don't even know Raven. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know Raven from anywhere. So this is my first time seeing her, encountering her, and I don't want it to be over a man. Like, girl, just stand up.
That don't really want you like that. That's my thing. Like he shut it down. And I get like Johnny's been on a couple shows. He's a flirt. Like he was flirting with this girl on All Star Shore. Now he's flirting with another girl here. Like it's a pattern. He gonna get his no matter and no matter the means. But girl, let it go. And then we see Colleen talking to Fessy in the hot tub, and she is sticking to this lie that she is from Love Island, Germany, when she is originally from the mole and won that show. And she's doing this, and all while Fessy's just trying to get a good read on her to see if she actually even likes him.
He
That's
just
all
trying
he's
to
worried about.
fuck. Like he's trying to freaking get his little freak on, and she's just like lying, just straight up, just like, yeah, I competed in the mole, and he gave some whack ass line of, you believe in the law of attraction? And she's like, yeah, I believe in the law of attraction. He was like, yeah, when two people are attracted to each other. Like, shut up, bro. Like, the game is weak, it's whack. I'm seeing it from a mile away. Like, he does this every single season with somebody new.
Yep, and Jack really peeped game that Colleen was lying, and he's holding on to this specific piece of information. Hopefully that comes out eventually. But because like he did his research, he knew what he was signing up for. He knew what's going to be there. He was like, okay, so and so from this show, so and so from this show. Colleen, oh, she's from the mall. She won it. Okay, bet. And then she comes here, and her and Kim are sticking to that lie. And I just wonder how that's going to fare. Um, and then we get to the first challenge, and TJ says that Kenny and Casey were already gone. But we know, like now, that because of things that happened behind the scenes, one of them got COVID. And they end up bringing two teams to put into the game, and we get Olivia and Horacio, and Nam and Emmy.
Which I know Nam didn't know that shorty from nowhere. Olivia from Love Island and Telemundo's Finest, she ain't know her from anywhere either. It's just like, it's so random. Like, why are y'all playing Scrabble with people's names, just throwing shit in like a hat bag and picking names and just being like, hey, y'all two, y'all go together real bad. Like, it don't make any sense.
I don't know. Like, if anything, well, make never mind. I was gonna say probably gonna never mind. I had a thought, but it wasn't gonna match up because I was gonna say, hey, should have brought somebody from her season that she was cool with, but nope, it's okay. Um, so we get to the first challenge of the day. It is called Bills for Blood, where the teams must solve three questions using their personal information, and they have to search through the mud to find the numbered bullets and attach them to a chain to form the answers. And the first team to correctly answer all the three questions and move the bullets past the finish line will win this daily. And production is messy. Okay, they asked Nelson immediately, like, when was the last time you won a daily challenge?
Because they knew the answer. Pop quiz. When was the last time you won anything? And
It's been
his
years.
answer, yeah, it's been years. It's been years.
But he was like, I'm not really worried about that. I'm just ready to see like how Therese does against the other ladies. That's it. I'm just here for the vibes.
Pretty much.
And the first question was, what is your cumulative age? And Colleen and Kim didn't know what that word was. I'm like,
Which, in their defense, English is not their first language,
yes.
and cumulative is not something that is not understandable. In, like I said, in America, that's something that's like taught. So it's like your cumulative, whatever. That's just numerically something that is taught. But like, English is not their first language. So I just feel like they could have used another term. And even if they didn't, I feel like somebody on production could have explained it to them, because I just don't think that's a fair advantage, to be honest. Like, I was thinking about, I'm like, that's just really not, it's not fair.
Yeah. And Johnny and Raven were really getting through this daily. Like they got the first one good. Um, and they were already on like their last question, like real quick. Like they were really working really well together as a team, and they were looking really good.
Yeah, Johnny and Reese were, they were doing a damn thing. Like, they were going through it um fairly quickly. And I think a lot of people were just like playing catch up. I think they just got a good head start. And it's funny because your boy on that one question.
I know. I was gonna get to it later. Nelson had asked for a check and he got it wrong. And Johnny and Raven, they got their check right and they just ran to the finish line. And Jay and Michelle were right behind them, but they beat them first. And Kayla and Sam are very annoyed about their celebration. And Kayla was like, "You found them bras. Okay, cool. Ma'am, you were like this on your first season. But what are you? Just be quiet. Be
Yeah,
quiet."
it's people always have selective memory when it's not them. Because I'm pretty sure if they were the one and her husband was hooting and hollering and screaming, "Oh, the queen, the queen, the queen," she would have been right with him. Like, get out of here. You, like,
Anyways, but back to Nelson.
oh, Lord.
Nerese was like, "Oh wait, I thought you were 32 or 33." He's 33. He told Nerese he was 32, and they got the question incorrect. And Tori and Devin were clowning him like in 51 dailies. He's lost them all consecutively. But the fact that this man did not know his age, it was a whole year off. Oh Lord,
That's
he's
your
in peak.
man, though.
That's peak season behavior. Like I would expect this to happen in the middle of the season. I did not expect this to happen right out the gate.
First one. He
Like
only need but one.
I
Only
know.
need but one.
I was like, sir, I will say Nelson is an unserious person that I enjoy laughing at, and that's why I like him. He is a fool, but it's funny. That's it. And now, Johnny and Raven have to deliberate for four ride or die teams to plead their case to them, and ultimately they have to pick one team to go into the elimination, and they have to wait to see who they go against. Because TJ said, "Hey, I'm not gonna tell you everything that I got up my sleeve because I got something for y'all." Um, and Jay in the moment is like very excited that he is aligned with Johnny because they know each other outside the show, and he came here wanting to work with him. So he thinks he's good and in a good place with him in power for this week. And in a deliberation, Raven and Johnny decided to shake it up and go after the vets. We've seen this time and time again where some rookies come in and they have a faction of people who want to go against the vets. And then there are people who decide to say, "Hey, no, I'm not going to work the vets." And we saw that last season, but this season I think we have a good group of rookies that will stick it to them. And with Johnny being here, I think this will be good. Um, and Johnny posed an idea like, "Hey, we don't really know Colleen and Campbell used them as a smoke screen, and then we'll have the three teams of vets with one person."
Yeah, I mean, I like Johnny's plan and idea, and just in general of the rookies coming after the vets. Like you said, we've seen it before where they've tried to go against them and it just has backfired because either the vets just overpowered them or somebody infiltrated the rookie alliance situation and just turned against it. But I think that with this group, they really have a understanding whether they played the game previously, like Jay and Michelle played last season, or they've watched it like Johnny like honestly has, like, you can tell that he's watched the show, and just a couple of the other rookies. And I think the balance of what they had, like having a vet alliance, having like a vet rookie alliance with Laurel and Jax, having a rookie alliance with um Colleen and Kim, it's a good balance. And I think that they played their cards really well for the first time of just winning and having that power, because they don't know what the power is going to bring with it. And I think just having that, but using a little bit what you've had so far to show, like, hey, this is what we're going to do from now on. It's like, all right, I like the approach that they took.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the energy I wanted last season. Like justice for Michaela because she was robbed. Um,
Right.
So they put up the teams on the board, which is a little fluorescent board with all the names, and everybody went outside to see. And Devin is throwing a fit, calling it horseshit. Um, Kayla was like, "Oh, that's y'all got some balls doing that." Um, and Michelle is very excited to see that a shot was thrown at the mic when I said big bets. Laura was shocked and confused, and Fessy was like, "Hey, girl, I know you're confused, but you are a threat because you're a champ. Get over it."
Right. I mean, there's just no other way around it. I get it. Laurel hasn't been there in a while. People haven't seen her. Just because they haven't seen you doesn't mean that they forgot. So, yeah.
You always you can remember but not forget everything. And so we get to interrogations. They talk to each team one by one. They start off with Kayla and Sam, and Sam was thinking that they would be presenting them with a deal, but Johnny was like, "Nope." And Kayla said that she doesn't really have much allies in the game, which is true because she hasn't been cool with Nelson. She hasn't really been cool with Devin. None of her friends are there, so she has nobody aside from Sam. Um, and they were like, "We're not gonna really take this seriously of working with them if they give the bone." And then we go to Tori and Devin, and Johnny also tells them that they pose a threat, and this is where he calls them the king queen of the big bets. And Devin's like, "I wouldn't say
Neither would I. I mean,
that."
shit, I wouldn't either.
And Tori was willing to throw a bone back towards them if they end up in power. And Devin took a while to consider it, and he eventually agreed and said, "I'll go in before I go back on my word." And then they talked to Colleen and Kim, and Johnny also poses another kind of situation with them, that to keep each other in the loop. If they hear something, they bring it back, and vice versa. And then we get to Jack and Laurel, where Johnny immediately is like, "Hey, Jack, got some tea to spill." And Jack tells him that Colleen was on a roll, and just explained that because she's been lying and he called them frauds. And then Laurel said, "Hey, like, I don't come into the game with pre-made alliances." And when she said that, I was like, "You better clock them bets because who does that? Who does that?"
I mean, I feel like Jackson Laurel is they're um well made together. Like they are just yoked because Jax came in knowing exactly how to play that situation and dropping that tea that he had on Colleen and Kim. And then Laurel just doubling down, playing the social game that she plays, and just is just trying to just use her mouthpiece to make sure that she has people on her side, even though they're not really having their back. And I just that whole deliberation, and especially with rookies and things like that, it's just like it's hard for. Hold on, I'm so sorry, but like quick timeout. Why is James Harden like wearing a diaper in practice? Like, did you see this?
I did not.
Okay, like I literally have to take a screenshot of this because I'm looking at my television and I'm just like, I'm almost seeing cheeks. Like, it's really disturbing. Okay, back to the challenge. No, because like when you see this, you're gonna be like, "Yo, what's going on?" I had to say, I could not hold it in. Um, yeah, but Laurel knows how to play her cards right, and so she's going to definitely. I mean, they're gonna all go back on their word with Johnny and Raven because they don't know them and they don't owe them anything. And I just think like just say the same with all of the teams. Honestly, like they're just like, yeah, yeah, but I have your back. You throw me a bone, I'll throw you one too. And it's just like, no, you won't.
Especially that group, that little duo of frenemies. They're not gonna do that.
No.
So we get to the first night party, and Devin had the bright idea to, have Tommy crowd surf. And Tommy was like, this is a very top moment for me. He was like, I love this moment. I love it. I'm like, okay, all right, let's move on.
Please.
And then we get to Olivia flirting with Nelson. And this, it's funny too. When I saw this moment, I texted my friend because she knows Olivia from Love Island as well. And I was like, "Man, Olivia was talking to this man." And Nelson is like, "Am I in love?" He was very infatuated by Olivia's blue eyes and her nice smile. I'm like, "Okay, Nelson, calm down because you did this again last season, and that woman is still pining over you. Stop."
Not him getting swooned by Blue Eyed Jane. Like, you gotta you unserious. This is why I'm just questioning your taste, because I'm like, this is so unserious. Like, come on.
Like he went from being with Angela from Bad Girls Club, and then he hooked up with Ashley, and then had a situation with Berna, and now he's up here in front of Olivia's face.
He just exudes like F boy. Like, I'm sorry, but it's
He was
just
he was like that on his season for either
his
one.
yes, I remember his season where the one, and he has not changed.
Just decided to pull a Jimmy Butler, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, Jack was also trying to gas Raven's head when him and Laura were talking to her. And Kayla and Sam were kind of really dreading Johnny because he wasn't really like interacting with them. And like, okay, what's going on? Like, are we going in? What's the deal? And they were just like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, just because they no one knows the outcome of what this even means of being in deliberation. I think that's also just the part that everyone was just panicking and trying to figure out like what's actually going on.
Yeah. And Johnny said he was ready to go to war against the big vets. And Jay and Amber said they were willing to join in on this mini alliance with the Rickies because these other vets weren't ready to mess with them because they don't like Amber like that. And then Jay's been there, but he doesn't have like those close knit relationships where he has an in. So, and Jay was very excited to really be part of this alliance. Like, yo, am I really about to be the head of an alliance? Like, I'm so excited for this. Um, but I do like that in that room was a good mix of people that were willing to work with each other because we haven't seen like vets that have been on the outs that really want to work with rookies like that. So, and for the fact that it is Jay and Amber, it's perfect.
I mean, eh, they definitely were being funny when they showed Fessy when they were like when she was like, "Oh, I haven't had the greatest like time with alliances or whatever." And we've known Amber's experience, and we've seen Jay in the past couple of seasons and what he's done. So it's not a surprising alliance because it's just like who's left to really be that's on the outskirts of things. But I think one thing is that they seem to have more integrity than some of the other rookies and other teams that kind of just would gel together because they weren't a part of the bigger alliance that's happened. So I think that they probably will be able to hold this alliance to get together a little bit stronger than what I've seen, but you just never know with how people end up playing. But from the looks of it, it seems like this may last little bit longer.
Yeah. And so we head into the new Elimination Arena, which is called the Zone, and offer players that were interrogated are on the bubble to possibly go in. And Johnny and Raven decide who is playing, and they said that they didn't want to play a big game and they wanted to go big, and so they chose Kayla and Sam. If you had the choice of those four teams, Who were you gonna pick?
If I was going big, I would have picked Tori and Devin.
Same.
Like Kayla and Sam is not picking big. That's just picking. Like that's just and again, I think that they made a wise decision in picking Kayla and Sam just because I mean it's an easy choice. Number one, even though Kayla has been there, Sam's a rookie. So it's just like I just feel like it was a safer choice. I don't know if it was just the best choice, but it definitely was safer out of the bunch. But Johnny tried to, make this whole speech, and it's just like Johnny, you picked Kayla and Sam. You did not pick anybody that was just gonna be life changing. Like if you was to pick Tori and Devin, I'd have been like, all right, y'all really trying to make a stance and a move and go after the vets. But because they weren't trying to play that game completely, they made the right move.
Yeah, like I would have wanted them to be the Tori and Devin to be the choice. However, they have a decent chance of coming back out of those four teams. And Kayla just got back. She just came back from All Stars, and she's tired, to be honest. So that would be the safe bet because we haven't seen her well, but she just was on All Stars, so let's just tire her out. Um, the other teams then joined TJ at the draw, who which is a little dagger in a stone, and they have to see who is gonna be playing against Kayla and Sam, and they draw the dagger one by one as teams. Devin and Tori both draw a blank dagger, and they remark that it is very sharp. And Devin tries to joke and tell Turbo to not get any ideas, and that the dagger stays in the zone. And once again, Turbo takes exception to Devin's joke and calls him a level 2 pussy chicken.
I don't even know what that means, but okay, brother man, you got it. You got it, Slime. Like I can't even like Turbo came in and like was waiting for anybody to say anything and was ready to pounce. And it's just like, damn, like can you relax a little bit? But I get it, but it was just funny to see the way that Devin's face looked when he turned around because like he realized like okay like you can't take a joke or you don't really understand like this is a joke. And Devin turned around and was just like he a little shook, and when he was like, oh, I apologize, and Turbo looked down at him, he was like, yeah, you should. And I'm just like, yo, like my man, let up a little bit, relax, like it's gonna be all right.
It's only the first night. Chill out.
I can only
He
imagine
wasn't.
what he was doing before.
I don't even think like he was this intense on his first season. Like I think I kind of think that him winning kind of like inflated him and made him more intense. Like he was funny and being blunt on his first season, but now it's a little bit too much. It's also it's I don't know why, but it is kind of giving Kevin Durant on Twitter.
Damn. Damn.
I see it. Like he stayed like granted he stays on Twitter, but he stays with his clap back and it doesn't hit sometimes. He gets to his feelings a bit. That's it. But I'm gonna digress.
All right. Don't let him get on you now. Call him Uncle Shannon Sharp. Then he gonna get on you.
um so Laurel and Jag, they also pull a blank dagger. Everybody's okay. You pull blank ones, like we're good. We're not going. But Colleen and Kim, they pull the dagger. And it says save. So now this is a good nice little twist. Well, we thought, oh, blank ones, everybody's good. But nope. The only team that's safe is Colleen and Kim.
Yeah, I think the twist for this season, I really like it because not only do you have to pick out of the four teams, but the draw I feel like would it's like now you're getting rid of like heavy alliances. Like I think it's crucial the four teams that end up going down there because now it's like, all right, if it's four people who are in the same alliance with each other and the person who's like picking or like picking the daggers now, they have to be like, all right, if I pick this dagger and I'm safe, I can save this person. I can't save this other person. Like, that's just going to be the hard part. So I think the four people going into the deliberation now, because of the twist, it's going to be interesting to see like who's winning and who's going down there. And so having them save one other person or one other team, it's like this is gonna stir some shit up, and I like it because now this actually gives a fair advantage, because for the past couple of seasons the vets have been playing a vet game where they're just taking out rookies and they're throwing in this person. Whoever wins last is going into elimination immediately and all this other stuff. Whereas this is just no, this is picking somebody and then a straight up draw for straws. Like whoever gets this wins this. We don't know who's gonna get it, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, this reminds me of the system they did on 30-30, and then I think it was, I don't know if it was free agents or rivals. One of the season where Jordan had pulled all those cards.
Hmm.
It reminds me of that, and I feel like if someone gets too big for their britches, someone might want to pull that this season. That was my thinking with this. I'm like, okay, I like it. Somebody might get too big for the britches and like, oh, I might just want to go in and pull that.
I mean, we'll see if that happens, and we'll see if somebody actually does that. I don't know. I don't know if anyone would be playing the game that way, but the person who you're talking about will be on this season, so we'll see how that goes.
Yes. So Colleen and Kim, since they pulled the safe dagger, they were able to choose a team that will also be safe as well. And they chose to stick with the Rickies, and that was like, okay, that's interesting. And they end up saving Laurel and Jack. And so we have our competitors against Kayla and Sam, which is going to be Devin and Tori.
I'm sorry.
We're good.
Just the sound of Tori and Devin makes me yawn. I'm joking.
So, the game that they're playing is called You Move, I Move, where they have to free all 5 balls that are on a maze while standing on platforms that move it. And communication may not be a strong suit for Kaylee and Sam, which they said it in this animation. Like, they don't communicate well in stressful situations. This is a stressful situation. Um, but start off, Tori was freaking out and she was calling Devin Dave, and she gave the backstory on how they call each other Dave. And I'm like, y'all could have kept that, but we
And
move.
they also said, we know we're annoying, and so imagine having to be us. And I don't want to imagine that. And I'm glad that Devin and the other young lady is self-aware enough to know that they're annoying.
Yes. Um, and Kayla and Sam got the first ball out, but Devin and Tori's communication was really working. They had 2 out at that point, and Kayla and Sam were in shambles this whole time. They could not communicate at all. They could barely get one out, all while Devin and Tori got all 5 of theirs out. And Devin and Tori, they beat the birds with ease, and they are still in the game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a elimination made for Devin, if anything, because Kayla had mentioned that the game that they played, Devin has something similar to it on his dining room table. So, Devin is puzzles all day. So he definitely was going to be prepared for that. And I think that Kayla and Sam, they've been married for only 3 months, and this is their first quote unquote honeymoon. I just don't think that I get it, trying to win $1 million and set up the rest of your life and all that, cool. But I just don't think that you should come on the show if you guys are like completely not 100% and like solid. Just get yourselves together before trying to come on TV, because that's just gonna mess you up even further. And I think TJ on their way out was like, "Well, I hope your marriage lasts longer than you stay here." And I agree, because you know, in 2 seconds you look up and these two is like they not together anymore. So who
Yeah.
knows?
I wrote down that whole little two sentences that he said. He's like, "Love wasn't enough to get y'all through the game. I hope your marriage lasts way longer than your time here." Like, listen, that's true. You know, they couldn't communicate with the nation. That's a red flag. But it's the first time for Sam being here, so I kind of get it, and it's overall meaningful experience, so I get it. But he said he hoped to see them soon in the future, and Sam on his way out said it was a good honeymoon, short and sweet. But go take a real honeymoon. Don't do that. If you get married and you're still early in your marriage, y'all are still newlyweds, do not come on a challenge. I'm sorry, Kayla, you just did All Stars. Ma'am, you could have just stayed home.
Yeah.
We could have
Or
got
they
your
probably
bestie,
just
her
well,
bestie
no.
Marie, and
Well,
Shane could
no.
have came back.
But I think that they decided to take a free little trip, and
Yeah.
that's just not cute.
Mm-mm. And TJ said, be careful who to trust, and especially him. He decides to bring out another team to the fold, and we see Bananas and Nani come in um, as, quote, the ride or dies of all time.
And we seen Fussy shit his pants, because the look on his face when he seen Bananas, you would have thought he saw a fucking ghost. Okay, like he looked shook. I know everyone was like, "Wait, who's that? I can't see the silhouette. What's going on?" Da 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 da. And when Bananas, trying to be dramatic, but taking off the hood on his head, and Nani's just swinging her hair back and forth like with her little chompers. Child, Fessie's face was like his face was shook the fuck up. And let me tell you, he thought he was gonna skate by this season with the people that was on there so far, because honestly, like everyone who was there that was on the stage or whatever, I feel like long enough Fessy will be able to get through to some of those people, depending on how his partner Mariah plays. But for the most part, Fessy has ran through most of those people throughout the last couple of seasons. So once he's seen Bananas, he's like, "Oh, okay, now it's on." And I think everyone felt the same way, and they realized, okay, this is a whole different game.
Yeah, when I saw Bananas walk in, I'm like, first of all, the only person I know that will walk into a game with his name on a freaking beanie is Bananas. And he was walking in like he was the Undertaker coming out from his comeback. I'm like, sir, be serious.
That's what he felt like. I mean, he's been gone for a few years. We thought he retired. CT lapped him a little bit these last couple of years in terms of the winning status. So he returned.
He should have stayed home, stayed retired. He pulled a Tom Brady for what?
Well, he ain't got no wife and kids, so he probably ain't escaping them. I don't know who he escaping, but I don't know.
Because him and Morgan did break up, so he has nobody at home. And so yeah,
Damn,
that's how he.
you lonely ass. Nah.
Well, he has Wes, but that's it.
Oh yeah.
But so that's how we ended the episode with both Bananas and Nani. The fact that we barely acknowledged Nani is
And we're
funny.
still gonna barely acknowledge because what, like, and it's so crazy that she's back on again with Bananas, and I just feel like because he's trying to win again, and I just feel like he's not gonna get there with her. Like the
Mm-mm.
curse of her is gonna continue on. She fucked up Leroy's moment, and now here he coming back with her. I can't. I
And
can't.
he still cursed himself. Well, not anymore. Not since Total, but since he won on Total Madness and left. But
Right.
his record still, since he stole the money from Sarah, it's still bad. So he
But
didn't
he
need to come
still won the
back.
most money. He still won
Yeah,
the most money of all time. So that's what he's riding on.
yeah. So we got the rest of the previews and stuff for the rest of the season. It looked very interesting. We saw the more old faces come through. Um,
Some more bloated
and
than others. I'm looking at you, Anissa and Veronica, because I don't know what is going on.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
every time I see Anissa, I'm just like, damn, like, girl, what are you doing? This is your job. This is your occupation at this point.
Well, she wasn't on two. Well, she wasn't. No, she was. I'll take that back. I was going to say she wasn't on a lot of seasons, but during the pandemic she was. I'll take that back. But still, but she also got hurt. So I'm like, ma'am, are you okay?
Anyway,
Anyways, we're gonna get to some of these tweets from the episode. It's one of our favorite segments that we have on the show. It's the segment that we pick out some tweets that we see through the challenge hashtag and we laugh about them and give more commentary about them. So the first tweet is: Imagine a world where Nelson is giving the toast.
I don't want to imagine it actually. I'd rather choke. Moving on.
Of all people. And, I laugh a lot, but come on, Nelson. It's, it's horrible at this point. The next tweet is Johnny doing what Jeremiah failed to do. And I agree. All Jeremiah did last season was not be able to swim. And he was up under Amber.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Granted, I would say nah. I don't think he had a better showing than Derrick Henry, but Derrick just had popcorn muscles. That was it. He didn't really have any other issues during that season, but yeah. Anyways, the last tweet: Devin and Tori are the king and queen of the vets. Johnny. Oh, what has the show become?
I don't know.
A, a clown show. That's it.
I mean, it has been a shell of itself for the past couple of years.
Yeah. Sad to see. I wish things would have been better. But from this finale, oh, not finale, the premiere. I'm so sorry. I'm so in the headspace. From this premiere, what were standouts from this episode?
I don't know. I don't really have any. Like it happened. I don't know. Like every time it's a new season of the challenge. Like the trailer is like semi interesting, and then we get the episodes, and it's just like it don't hit. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form getting my hopes up or looking like, oh my god, this is gonna be a good season. But I do think it will be better than some that we've previously had just off the cast of characters that we've had. So that is a plus. That'll be a little bit better because the main show has just been like in a weird flux for the past at least 3 seasons, I would say. And yeah,
I do like that we have a new twist. Like the twist got better in this first episode, and I'm excited to see how they play out the rest of the season. We haven't seen like the how the nations would be set up with people in a while. We've always had either a skull kind of season or people having being in the troika and just picking people out of them. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Um, and yeah, I'm excited to see somehow some players play. There's already been also some some mess on social media because I will say Nerys kind of unintentionally picked a fight with the girlies from the CBS challenge about the house. Um, but I'm like, girl, be quiet. I get you just got here, but shh, don't do that. So yeah,
I haven't seen anything, so I'll look at it at some point in time. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. We have gone through the first episode of season 38, Ride or Dies. It's definitely, I don't even know what to call this season, but it's happening. So we'll be back next week, like we always will be, to discuss more of the show. If you would like to follow any of our pages, you can follow our Twitter page at the Lions Pod. You can follow Megan's page at Megan Hines.
follow Alicia at ace_s5.
And you can follow our YouTube channel at the Lions Pod. You can watch us typically at 10 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock
7
Pacific.
o'clock.
Oh, sorry, 7 o'clock Pacific time on Fridays when we go live. So, yeah, check out our YouTube channel. And then that's it. Have a good weekend. See you later. Bye.
Bye.